There is something off with Erika Kirk. What she is wearing seems a bit inappropriate to mourn your husband, who was literally taken out for the entire world to see. This woman is not grieving anything. She skipped straight to acceptance. This is most definitely PR, and they're using your grief for marketing.
Something's off. And Joe Rogan just said what millions of people have been thinking, but didn't dare to say out loud when Joe took the mic this week. He didn't hold back. He looked straight into the camera and said, "There's something not right about this whole Erika Kirk situation." The internet froze because this wasn't another rumor, another tweet, another talking head speculating. This was Joe Rogan, the man who questions everything, and he was officially calling BS. On this story, everyone else is too scared to touch. He didn't just imply it. He said it. The timeline doesn't make sense. The investigation feels staged. And Erika's behavior since Charlie's death. It's off. Way off. He pointed out the cold reality everyone saw, but no one wanted to say that Erika hasn't acted like a grieving widow at all. Her speeches, her clothes, her quick return to the public eye. It all feels strategic. And Joe didn't stop there. He hinted at something darker, a quiet rift between Erika and Charlie's own parents. A growing tension that's been bubbling behind the scenes while the media distracts the public with polished tributes and press releases. He said it plain as day. When the people closest to the victim aren't talking, that's not grief. That's silence being enforced. The internet exploded. Hashtags like #JusticeForCharlie and #What is Erika hiding shot to the top of every platform. Fans began digging, questioning, cross-referencing every video, every smile, every tear dot, because now that Joe Rogan's spoken, everyone's asking the same question. If Erika Kirk isn't the grieving widow the world thinks she is, then who or what is she really before the internet storm, before the chaos? Before Joe Rogan's voice sliced through the noise like a blade, there were whispers, quiet, scattered. Uneasy whispers. Something about Erika Kirk just didn't sit right. When news of Charlie Kirk's shocking death broke. The world mourned, or at least it tried to. The country watched in disbelief as the founder of Turning Point America, the loudest voice of a generation, was suddenly gone in what officials called a random act of violence. But from the beginning, nothing about it felt random. In the early hours of that morning, reports claimed a single shooter, Tyler Robinson, had been detained after an alleged confrontation outside a university campus. The FBI stepped in almost immediately, calling it a politically motivated incident, yet refusing to disclose what exactly that meant. But just as the story was beginning to take shape, the cracks started showing. There were no confirmed photos of the shooter, no verified footage from nearby cameras, no eyewitnesses, not one. And that's when Joe Rogan smelled something burning. He said it bluntly on his podcast. When an investigation's real, you get silence until the facts are clear. But this was theater. Leaks, confusion, mixed stories, that's not law enforcement. That's a smokescreen. The statement went viral instantly because Rogan wasn't just echoing fan frustration. He was confirming their deepest suspicions. Even more disturbing, Rogan pointed to the timeline itself, how quickly Erika Kirk had moved into the spotlight after Charlie's death. Just 72 hours after the news broke, Erika was seen giving her first televised speech, perfectly composed, perfectly lit, wearing a sleek black dress that looked more red carpet than memorial. She stood at a podium draped in the American flag, surrounded by cameras, donors, and political allies. And she didn't cry, not once. Instead, she smiled, her words. Charlie's mission doesn't end here. If you thought he changed the world before, you have no idea what's coming next. The audience erupted in applause. But online, people recoiled. Commenters flooded the internet with disbelief. Why does this feel like a campaign speech, not a eulogy? Is she grieving or launching something? This is PR, not pain. And then came the memorial incident, the viral moment that ignited everything. A leaked clip showed Erika walking up the stage to accept a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom on Charlie's behalf. Her chin high, her steps slow and deliberate, the faint trace of a smirk curling on her lips. Behind her, Charlie's parents sat in the crowd, motionless, silent, never called to the stage. That single image, the widow standing center frame, while the grieving parents watched from the shadows, hit like a gut punch. And people noticed. Where are his parents? Why is she front and center? Why do I feel like this isn't about Charlie anymore? Joe Rogan noticed too. On his podcast, he replayed the clip in slow motion, zooming in on Erika's expression. "That's not grief," he said quietly. "That's control." His co-host looked stunned. "You think it's an act?" "I think it's a production," Rogan replied, "and she's the director." Meanwhile, whispers began to surface, rumors that Turning Point America had quietly installed Erika as the new CEO less than 2 weeks after Charlie's death. An alleged email leaked from a board member confirmed what everyone feared: "We can't afford uncertainty. Erika is the logical successor. The donors trust her." The document was dated for days after Charlie's funeral. When that leaked, the internet went ballistic. Erika takeover trended for 3 days straight. Even major news outlets began covering the Widow 2 CEO story, questioning how a woman in mourning could pivot so fast, and why the board had rushed to hand her the reins. Rogan's team dug deeper. They found that multiple key staff members had resigned quietly in the days following Charlie's death. No press releases, no statements, just gone. When Rogan's guest, investigative journalist Laura Devine, appeared on his show, she dropped a chilling detail. The people who left weren't random. They were the ones who had voiced concern about Erika's influence before Charlie's death. And it wasn't just staff. Leaked texts between Turning Point donors revealed discussions about stabilizing optics, safeguarding assets, and ensuring continuity of vision. One message allegedly read, "She's media savvy. Keeps the story positive. We need that." Another, "Charlie's vision was too unpredictable. Erika understands long-term strategy." Those 2 lines shattered the illusion. The public realized this wasn't about grief, it was about branding. Candace Owens, once a close ally of both Charlie and Erika, exploded online. She went live for over an hour, visibly furious. "You don't replace a man before his story's even told." She said, "You don't turn tragedy into marketing." She accused Turning Point of using Charlie's death to rebrand itself, of turning pain into propaganda. Her most explosive line: "They're not honoring his mission, they're rewriting it." That quote ricocheted across every social platform. Meanwhile, Erika remained silent until she didn't. When she finally appeared on The Morning Exchange, a primetime network show, her demeanor was eerily calm. She wore all white, her hair perfectly curled, her voice controlled. "Charlie wanted me to carry on his mission," she said, hands folded neatly in her lap. "That's what I'm doing, continuing his legacy." But her smile didn't reach her eyes, and something about her tone, rehearsed, steady, almost too confident, made people uneasy. The top comment under the interview read, "She doesn't sound like a widow. She sounds like a CEO defending her product." Joe Rogan reacted the next morning. "That's what's so weird. She's emotionally vacant. You'd expect someone destroyed by loss, but she looks composed, like she's managing optics. Not mourning a husband, managing a rollout." Then came the bombshell that blew the entire situation wide open. An anonymous insider, allegedly a former Turning Point employee, leaked a series of encrypted messages that mentioned Romanian connections. The messages suggested that Erika had maintained foreign consultancy relationships through a nonprofit registered in Eastern Europe, one that had quietly received donations from undisclosed sources. The donor names? Redacted. The timing? Perfectly aligned with Turning Point's expansion. And the kicker: those donations were made weeks before Charlie's death. When Joe Rogan mentioned that detail on air, his voice dropped low. If this is true, then this wasn't a tragedy. It was a transition. And that's when everyone from Candace Owens to Charlie's own parents started demanding answers. Because if Joe was right, then Erika wasn't just stepping into her husband's. Dachi was walking through a door that had been opened. Long before he was gone, a door that someone somewhere made sure she'd sighed. Be ready to walk through. And as Rogan himself said in the closing moments of that episode, when a widow becomes a CEO before the body's even cold, you don't ask how she got there. You ask who put her there. The tension was palpable. The theories endless. The truth still out of reach, but one thing was certain. Joe Rogan wasn't done talking. And Erika Kirk's perfectly calm smile was starting to look like the most dangerous mask in America. The day Joe Rogan dropped his follow-up episode, everything changed. 4 weeks. He'd been hinting that something bigger was coming, that the pieces behind Charlie Kirk's death and Erika's strange behavior weren't random, but connected. The title, Frame by Frame, he pointed out how 2 men in dark suits, the same ones who'd been photographed escorting her at previous events, exchanged a signal right before she walked up. A nod, a tap on the earpiece. Those aren't family security, Joe said flatly. That's federal detail. Same formation I've seen around political dignitaries, not widows. The revelation landed like dynamite. If Erika wasn't being protected for her safety, then who was she being protected by? As the episode aired, social media lit up. Every clip, every slow motion replay, every micro expression from that ceremony was suddenly under forensic examination. But what came next was even stranger. Rogan's producer Jamie pulled up an archived live stream from a Turning Point donor gala one month before Charlie's death, showing Erika giving a toast. She was radiant, confident, and a little too comfortable in the spotlight. To legacy, she said, raising her glass. To building something so powerful it can't fall, even if one of us does. The audience laughed, oblivious. But Rogan froze the frame. She said, even if one of us does. That's not an accident, he said. That's predictive. Within minutes, hashtag even if one of us does was trending worldwide. Then Candace Owens jumped in, quote, tweeting a clip of the toast with a single word. Chills. It was all anyone could talk about until the real bombshell hit. An anonymous source claiming to be a former Turning Point finance consultant leaked internal memos allegedly showing insurance payouts issued to Erika's foundation 48 hours after Charlie's death. Not weeks. Not months. 48 hours. The leak included screenshots of transfer authorizations, one stamped urgent processing with the initials EK in the approval field. When Rogan's team verified the metadata, the timeline looked even more damning. Erika's new company, the Legacy Initiative, had been legally registered 3 days before Charlie's death. You don't form a foundation days before your husband dies by coincidence, Rogan said. That's premeditated planning, not mourning. The backlash was immediate. Comment sections exploded. She knew. This was a setup. Legacy Initiative. Try cover-up initiative. Meanwhile, Candace Owens went live again, tears of anger in her eyes. They're not even hiding it anymore, she said. She turned his death into a business plan. The clip racked up 30 million views in under an hour. But the real twist came when Rogan invited an unexpected guest, John Kirk, Charlie's father, for an exclusive sit-down interview. When John appeared on screen, he looked exhausted, older than his years, his voice cracking as he spoke. We tried to tell him, he said quietly. We saw the signs. He wasn't sleeping. He told us he felt watched. Rogan leaned in. Watched by who? John hesitated, eyes glistening. He didn't say. He just kept repeating. They won't let me stop. That one sentence sent chills down. Rogan spined. John then dropped another revelation, something the media had completely ignored. 2 nights before he died, Charlie called me. He said he was going to release a statement, something about cleaning house at Turning Point. Said there were deals happening that didn't feel right. I told him to be careful. That was the last time I ever heard his voice. Silence. Rogan swallowed hard. Did he say what kind of deals? John shook his head. No, just that he was done playing puppet. And he said, Erika, she wasn't taking it well. It's that moment, studio went dead quiet. John looked straight into the camera. I don't care what anyone says. My son didn't just die. Someone decided he'd said enough. The internet erupted again. People began piecing together a timeline, a dark pattern, where every clue pointed back to Erika. The pre-filed nonprofit, the PR-ready speeches, the new partnerships that mirrored agendas Charlie had opposed before his death. Even the photos from the funeral told a story, Erika, flanked by the same corporate executives Charlie had distanced himself from months earlier. But then came a discovery. That turned suspicion into horror. Digital forensics experts digging through public archives found that the Legacy Initiative's website domain had been created using the same IP address, registered to a government-contracted communications firm in Arlington, Virginia. The name, Vanguard Solutions Group, a company tied to federal PR projects, strategic messaging operations, and, you guessed it, campaign stabilization consulting. Rogan couldn't believe it. A widow sets up her husband's memorial foundation through a federal contractor that manages political messaging. You still think this is coincidence? His co-host sat frozen. That's not grief, Rogan said. That's narrative management. And just when the episode seemed like it couldn't go further, Rogan played a leaked voicemail left on Charlie's mother's phone 2 days after the funeral. It was Erika's voice. Hi, Mrs. Kirk, please. I need you to trust me. There's a lot going on that I can't explain right now. Just stay quiet for Charlie's sake. You'll understand soon. It's the message cut off. John Kirk broke down in tears live on camera. That's not how you comfort grieving parents, he said. That's how you control them. The audience lost it. Social feeds flooded with outrage, compassion, and conspiracy. Within 24 hours, Turning Point America's social media pages were locked. Erika's accounts went private. Her verified Instagram, which had posted photos of her smiling with captions about continuing Charlie's mission, suddenly wiped clean. Every post gone. Joe Rogan ended the episode on a chilling note. Every time the truth gets close, somebody disappears. Files vanish. Statements get rewritten. But there's one thing that never lies: behavior. If you looked into the camera, and Erika's behavior screams guilt. Outside, protests began forming. Supporters demanding transparency. Others accusing Joe of exploiting tragedy. But behind it all, the Kirk parents released one final statement through their attorney. A heartbreaking, defiant message. We will not be silenced. The world deserves to know what happened to our son. We stand with those still asking questions. Within minutes, Joe retweeted it with one sentence, and the questions are just beginning. That night, a new account appeared on X at Legacy Leak, posting an encrypted file with the caption, "She was warned." He was silenced. The next drop exposes everything. And in the background of the account's profile photo, a blurry still image of Erika Kirk standing beside a man in a dark suit, whispering something in his ear. The metadata showed the photo. It's been taken the day before Charlie's death. By the next morning, the entire internet had split into two camps. Those who believed Joe Rogan and those who were terrified that he might actually be right. The hashtag #LegacyLeak dominated every platform. Millions of users were glued to their screens, waiting for the mysterious account's promised drop. When it finally came, it was worse than anyone imagined. At exactly 11:11 p.m., a 14-minute audio file titled meeting_confidential_audio_charliek.mp3 went live. The voice on the recording was unmistakable. It was Charlie Kirk, but the other voice, calm, smooth, eerily composed, belonged to none other than Erika Kirk. Charlie, they're not telling me everything. Erika, something's off with the numbers. Erika, you're overthinking it, love. Just focus on the message, not the money. Charlie, I can't. I looked at the statements myself. They're moving donor funds to a private trust. Erika, it's for safety. For us, Charlie, us or them. Then came a pause. The sound of shifting chairs. Tension so thick you could hear it. Erika, you need to stop asking questions. You're not supposed to be the one fixing this. Charlie, then who is? The audio glitched there, distorted, but the next line sent the world into meltdown. Erika, I told you already. The deal's bigger than Turning Point. That single sentence detonated like a bomb across the internet. The implications were enormous. If this recording was real, Erika wasn't just protecting a brand or a narrative. She was protecting a deal, something bigger, deeper, possibly darker than anyone had realized. Within minutes, #TheDeal trended worldwide. Commenters went wild. This isn't marriage talk, it's corporate espionage. She literally admitted it's bigger than TPUSA. If this was fiction, it'd still sound evil. But the chaos didn't stop there. Because right after the leak went public, the Legacy Leak account vanished. All posts deleted, handle deactivated, gone in seconds, almost as if someone had pulled the plug from the inside. Joe Rogan addressed it live the next morning. His face said it all, exhausted, shaken, furious. We downloaded it. We verified it. It's him. Thou Grants released a devastating open letter to the public. We are heartbroken, but not surprised. We told people from the beginning that our son was in danger. Now the truth is coming out, and the people responsible are still walking free. That statement alone reignited fury online. Fans demanded answers. Protests formed outside Turning Point's headquarters. And social media turned into a digital battleground. Still, amidst the chaos, something strange happened. A new video appeared on Erika's official website. No intro, no music, no filters. Just Erika sitting in near darkness. They think they know the story, she whispered. But none of them understand what Charlie was fighting. She looked straight into the camera, her eyes cold, defiant. If you knew what I knew, you'd understand why he had to die. Then she smiled small, taunting, and the screen cut to black. The video vanished within an hour, replaced by an error message. But by then, it was too late. Millions had seen it, downloaded it, shared it. She literally said he had. To die? What does that even mean? Is she confessing? Threatened? Controlled? It's not grief. That's warning. Rogan was the first to respond, his voice shaking with disbelief. That wasn't a widow speaking. That was someone trying to send a message. Candace posted almost immediately after. Erika's eyes don't lie. She's scared. And then came the twist that left even Rogan speechless. Late that night, an encrypted email surfaced in the inboxes of several journalists covering the case. The subject line, "The truth they can't bury." Inside was a single image, a blurry surveillance still from a government parking structure. It showed two figures standing near a black SUV. One of them was Erika Kirk. The other, unmistakably, was a senior FBI liaison known for overseeing domestic political operations. The timestamp. 4 hours before Charlie's death, when Rogan saw the image, he muttered 5 words that summed up the entire scandal. This isn't conspiracy anymore. This is coordination. The entire country froze. Because now, the story wasn't about grief, PR, or optics anymore. It's about power and the people willing to kill to protect it. And if what Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, and the Kirk parents were uncovering was real, then Erika Kirk wasn't the villain of the story. She was the key to it. By sunrise, America was wide awake, jittery, anxious, and glued to their screens. The #Legacy Leak scandal had torn through the internet like a storm with no off switch. Every feed, every headline, every podcast pulsed with the same question. What did Erika Kirk know, and when did she know it? Cable networks called it the most explosive political mystery of the decade. Talk shows ran emergency panels. Politicians issued half statements and no comment disclaimers. But none of it mattered, because everyone was waiting for one thing: Joe Rogan's final episode. The announcement hit at 9 a.m. sharp tonight. Rogan wrote, "We play the full file." He didn't say what file. He didn't have to dot at exactly 8:59 p.m. Millions tuned in, the largest live audience in Rogan's history. The title appeared against a black screen in blood red font: Erika's last call. The intro faded out. Joe leaned toward the mic, voice quieter than usual, almost trembling. "You're about to hear something that came to me last night. It was sent from an encrypted source I can't trace. But I verified the voice." He pressed play. A burst of static. Then Erika's voice, shaky, whispering, terrified. "They told me not to call anyone, but I can't keep this in anymore. If this gets out, I'm dead." She paused, breathing fast. Charlie didn't die because of money. He didn't die because of politics. He died because he found something. He found them. Rogan looked at the camera, eyes narrowing. "Found who?" "Erika," he whispered. The recording continued. "There's a group inside the network, not Turning Point Deeper. They control everything. Donors, narratives, the talking points, even the influencers. They call themselves the Foundation. Charlie found their ledger, names, payments, and something called Directive 17. I begged him to stop reading it. He said he couldn't unsee it." Static. A muffled sob. "The next day, the phone calls started. Anonymous numbers, threats, then the meeting, the one at the Eisenhower building. They told me to keep him quiet. I thought I could protect him. But they already decided what would happen." The clip ended there. Silenced. Joe just sat there, stunned. "That wasn't acting," he said softly. "That was a confession." The live chat exploded. Directive 17. The Foundation. So Charlie found proof. Candace Owens immediately reposted the clip, captioning it, "He died for the truth." Within hours, independent journalists were frantically trying to uncover what Directive 17 meant. And what they found made the internet collectively stop breathing. An archived business registration under a front, company, Patriot Advancement Systems LLC, listed Directive 17 as a subproject under Strategic Media Operations. The registered address, Arlington, Virginia. The owner, Vanguard Solutions Group. The same name from the previous leaks. Joe Rogan read the discovery live, his hands visibly shaking. Vanguard again. It's the same group tied to the legacy. Initiative domain, the same one connected to federal communications contracts. Then he leaned back, staring off camera. If Erika's telling the truth, this wasn't just about Turning Point. This was about control. He paused, then added something that sent shivers down everyone's spine. And they're still operating. That's when it happened. The live stream glitched, a sudden flicker, audio distortion, then complete silence. The screen froze on Rogan's stunned face for a full 5 seconds before going black. When the feed returned, Joe was gone. His seat was empty. Chat exploded in panic. WTF just happened? Did they cut the feed, Joe? Say something. For 5 agonizing minutes, the stream played nothing but static. Then, slowly, a distorted female voice broke through. He shouldn't have played it. And the screen went dark again. When Rogan's team finally restored the stream an hour later, he was visibly shaken, but alive. "Something crashed our servers mid-broadcast," he said, voice unsteady. "We lost power, backup feed, everything. But before that happened, we traced the signal interference to..." He stopped mid-sentence. "You know what? I'll show you." He pulled up a map on screen, a cluster of pings tracing to a government network node labeled EO East DC Metro Hub. "That's not a fan hacking us," Joe said grimly. "That's internal." Within minutes, hashtags like hashtag, they silenced Joe, hashtag Directive 17. And hashtag Find Erika took over social media, because somewhere out there, the woman at the center of it all, Erika Kirk, was missing. Her house in Phoenix, empty. Her phone, disconnected. Her security team, gone. Candace Owens posted a photo at midnight. Erika's gated driveway, lights still on, doors wide open. She's gone. Everything's gone. The next morning, a new clip appeared on Telegram under the username Echo_17. It showed a dark figure walking down an airport corridor, face obscured by a scarf and sunglasses. The caption read, "She didn't run. She was escorted." The timestamp: 2 hours after Joe's livestream blackout. Rogan returned to the air that night, looking pale but determined. "I don't know if Erika's alive. I don't know where she went." But this story isn't over. He turned to the camera, his tone grave, almost prophetic. If what she said about the foundation is true, it means the entire media ecosystem, including me, including Candace, including you, has been manipulated by something we can't see. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. And if Directive 17 is still active, that means they're already working on the next phase. Then Joe did something nobody expected. He played one last clip, a faint voicemail sent to his burner phone just hours earlier. It was Erika's. Drop your theories in the comments. Every clue counts. Every voice matters. Because if the pattern holds, the next person to vanish might be the one who speaks too loudly. And if you think this story can't get darker, think again. When that countdown hits 0, the world might finally see what Charlie saw and why they needed him gone. So hit that like button. Share this video everywhere before it disappears. And subscribe for the next update, because this isn't just about Charlie or Erika. Anymore, this is about who really controls what you believe. And when the clock strikes 0, we'll find out who's been watching all along. All right? Listen closely, because after everything we've seen, this is far from over. The leaks, the blackout, the disappearance, the countdown. Something massive is about to drop. And when that timer hits 0, we might finally learn the truth about what really happened to Charlie Kirk, Erika, and everyone caught in the storm. But here's the thing, information like this doesn't stay online forever. It gets scrubbed, it gets buried, it gets rewritten. So before that happens, before another piece of evidence mysteriously vanishes, you need to make sure this story stays alive. Hit LIKE so this video breaks the algorithm wall. Hit subscribe so you don't miss when phase 2 hits. And drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because your theory could be the missing piece that blows this thing wide open.